I just want to give a round of applause because this first 2-episode premiere of Alien Earth is absolutely phenomenal and mind-blowing. It premiered on Hulu and FX. This serves as a prequel and is set in 2120, 2 years before the events of the 1979 film Alien, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Sigourney Weaver. Sydney Chandler is Wendy. Alex Lothar is C.J. Hermit, Wendy's brother. We see S.E. Davis as Dame Sylvia, is kind of the researcher to the work of the Prodigy Corporation, who is run by Boyd Cavalier, which is a very interesting name for a character. He is the human CEO of this corporation and the world's first youngest trillionaire. Yes, trillionaire. And then you have Timothy Oliphant as Kirsch, Wendy's synthetic mentor and trainer. It's 2120 and 5 companies control Earth and the colonized solar system. Prodigy Corporation being one of them, and then Weyland-Yutani being the other, and there's other 3. The way this first episode is, it's titled Neverland, the way it's shot, the way it's done, reminiscent of the Alien movie from 1979. Just the way it was, the tracking shots where everyone sits around the table in the USCSS Magnaut, and it's just so good. The correlations are there between the opening sequence of that first film and this episode. But then we see that this deep space research vessel is on a 65-year expedition mission to obtain extraterrestrial life forms, including the facehuggers. Not only are the facehuggers on this ship, you have other organisms as well that are really scary up until this point. And then we switch back to Earth. The Prodigy Corporation on the Neverland Research Island, and Neverland is really a big thing because it has that backstory of Peter Pan, Wendy, the Lost Boys. That's why this young girl Marcy calls her new synth Wendy, because she looks like a Wendy. And it's just, she's a terminally ill child, and she becomes the first hybrid to have her consciousness put into a adult synth. And then we see the aspect of, Wendy getting used to this hybrid body, her kind of mentoring other young kids, the Lost Boys, kind of around her in order to become this new synth and not be scared of anything. She'll be there along the way, like that motherly figure. Then we see Timothy Oliphant's character as Kirsch, who is the synthetic mentor and trainer to Wendy. Really interesting, really well done. I do like how everything transpires in this first 2 episodes because it's absolutely mind-blowingly brilliant. Yes, a xenomorph escapes, something happens on the ship. We know something was going to happen on the ship, and it's absolutely crazy. We then see the aspect of Morrow, who is a cyborg working for Weyland-Yutani and a security officer who kind of stresses back to, the corporation where, okay, listen, hey, this is what's going on, what's happening. And then we see the xenomorph in full form, finally on live action television, ladies and gentlemen. But the way it was, something about this xenomorph was very different than what you know and believe about the other ones that are in this franchise. This xenomorph was more of a sleek, has the xenomorph skull, and then when it dripped its bodily fluid onto Morrow, it didn't melt his face. Because we know that when it does, it has that acidic saliva, burns through the hull of ships, skin, but this one didn't, which was very interesting to see. And then the ship crash lands on Earth, and we're just like, whoa, okay. And then Wendy has to find out where her brother is and everything. And then we go into the second episode, Mr. October, where everything is really crazy. Not only that, we have Hermit, CJ, who is a soldier and also a medic for the Prodigy Corporation, and him and his unit go in and kind of assess the damage of the ship that crashed on Earth. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening, and Wendy volunteers to go to, and goes to Boyd Cavalier and says, listen, I want to do this mission. I have a reason for it. And we see that reasoning. And then Kirsch kind of tries to tell Wendy, he could be dead, this and that. And then the craziness ensues, ladies and gentlemen. We see different aspects of these organisms wreaking havoc. We don't know what's going on. But my goodness, the xenomorph is in full effect in this episode. It's in the shadows. You don't know what's going on. All of a sudden it's behind someone, then it runs past. There is a beautiful shot where it's in, I guess, the atrium of an apartment building, and there's a statue there. They're trying to get people out of an apartment complex, and then it's on a soldier, and then you see the xenomorph behind it, blending into with the statue. So fantastic, so well done. This xenomorph alien has not been scary since couldn't even tell you when. The creators of this show, Noah Hawley, really dive deep into the aspect of making the xenomorph scary again. Had that horror element, fast-paced killing machine that it's like, whoa. And not only that, Morrow, the cyborg on the ship, the Magnaut, also is afraid of the xenomorph as well. But we know why Morrow has to get the xenomorph, because he works for Weyland Yutani. Weyland Yutani is introduced, Miss Yutani is introduced, talking with Cavalier, and they have this back and forth of like doing this and having this on because of the jurisdictions and everything, and it's like, oh, okay, I mean, she is the senior member of Weyland Yutani. We know who Weyland is. You've seen Prometheus. Now we have Yutani. We know the whole aspect of everything. And then we see the aspect of how everything is done to a point where the story is there as well. Let's calm down a little. Let's calm down a little bit. It's a story about the brother and sister of, the sister finding the brother, but the brother saying that the sister died. The reconnection that happens, but then craziness ensues. All this panic is happening around them, and Kirsch finding out what this research ship is doing. Mind-blowing, fantastic, brilliant. First episode is 1 hour and 4 minutes. Second episode is 55 minutes. This entire series will run for 8 episodes. It's episodic, released weekly on FX and Hulu, and I love it. I friggin' love it. I was anticipating this when I heard they were coming out with a television show, but I'm very curious to see how this goes into the 1979 movie, because if it's 2 years before those events, this is season 1, then maybe we'll get a second season of Alien Earth, which then goes into the movie. So far they're doing the smart things. You have the tactical soldiers, which we know from Aliens, directed by James Cameron. Everything is there. The Easter eggs, the homages. I mean, it's just so brilliantly done. I absolutely can't believe how good this is, and I fucking love it. Like, holy shit, this is so good. Noah Hawley really picked a kind of fantastic franchise to work with, and it really shows, and it's good. It's really good, ladies and gentlemen. The first 2 episodes really blew me off my feet, especially the aspect where the artificial intelligence is talked about, trillionaires making fun of trillionaires, that kind of big billionaire corporation running things, keeping things secret, not knowing what to do and this and that, but then the synthetic bodies and the future, wow. Watch this show. Check it out. If you're a fan of this franchise, if you love the Xenomorphs, you love Aliens, or whatever you want to call it, this is a show for you. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about the first 2 episode premiere of Alien Earth. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What's your favorite movie in the franchise? Do you like so far how this show is going? What do you think is going to happen? And even though this is 2 years before the events of the first film, do you think we'll get one more season? And how do you think everything will transpire? And do you like how everything is going? And are you excited for a show like this? Let me know in the comment section about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week to my episode 3 review of Alien Earth.